Am I the butthole for reporting my mom for identity fraud? I 24 am, and my girlfriend put in an application to rent a condo and found out my mom borrowed $43,000 with my social insurance. I talk with a lawyer, and he tells me I can either report my mom for identity fraud or pay it off or declare bankruptcy. I confront my mom, and she begs me not to do it and just pay off the debt. I don't have anywhere near that money and decide to do what the lawyer recommended. The lawyer told me filling out the police report is not the same as pressing charges, but I'm still scared what might happen to her. We used to be very poor, and she used my social insurance to pay the bills and provide for me and my brother. This feels like I'm betraying her and my brother refused to speak to me. My relatives all stopped talking to me. Am I the asshole here? Edit. People are asking me if my mom or family could pay it. I don't think so. My mom is on social assistance and my family isn't much better off. My grandma has a house, but I'm not asking her to sell it. Also, my lawyer said a police report is just to get the ball rolling on clearing up the debts and recovering my credit. It doesn't include her name. Lawyer said providing suspect is not necessary, but I'm sure if they tried they would figure out it's her. My mom might face charges, but it's unlikely she would get jail time. Edit. People are asking why she didn't put the loans under her name. She's got terrible credit and has declared bankruptcy before, but I'm not sure when. I don't know if my brother has checked his credit. He blocked me on WhatsApp, FB and his phone. Edit. To clarify, she probably didn't borrow $43,000. It's probably $10,000 to $20,000 that grew with interest, fees, etc. Not the butthole. $43,000 is a serious sum. You could consider not doing it if she paid that debt off, if you were feeling okay with that solution. But it's unlikely to happen if everyone, including her, thinks you should be the one to do it. Do they think you're just going to pull that money out of a hat? There are always going to be feelings hurt because family, but is it what family would do, to put someone in debt by committing a fraud? Nope. Original poster replies. She doesn't have the money. She gets social assistance, which is barely enough to cover her rent and food. That isn't your responsibility. Your responsibility is the $43,000 worth of debt that she illegally put under your name. It wasn't to take care of you and your brother. You don't take care of your children by doing illegal things to them. Funny how the brother also thinks original poster's TA. Probably because Mommy Dearest didn't steal money from him. If I was the brother, I might be running my credit before I cast any stones. This. $56,000 later, bro finally agrees with original poster. Agreed. I know a couple people who had this done to them, and in their cases, the siblings got hit too. The parent would max out one kid's credit, then move on to the next. I know one lady who had 4 kids, and she did that to all of them. It seems kind of insane to be able to borrow such huge sums without any, I assume, verification that the money actually goes to the owner of the social security number. He should check. Maybe she did. Because at some point he would have maxed out, and if she did it once and it worked, why not the other? It's easy money. I also don't buy that she had no other option. No other option is not $40,000. $40,000 is enough to support a family in poverty for 2 years on top of welfare and SNAP. Yep. Living on under $20,000 with a family of 4. No way in hell I'd put $40,000 in my kid's name. My aunt did a similar thing to my cousin. Utility bills, credit cards, etc. Back then you could get away with that kind of thing. Took my cousin 20 years to pay it off and get out from under it. She fled to the other side of the country at 18 and has never looked back. Original poster should report her and let the chips land where they may. Go no contact and cut off his family if they pile on to save her. If it's no big deal to pay off, then the rest of the family should start writing checks. And even if it was to take care of them, well, then that would mean that it was actually original poster who took care of them, so why should he feel guilt? But it was original poster's mom's responsibility to take care of him and his brother. She decided to have kids. Original poster shouldn't pay, literally and figuratively, for the rest of his life because family. Please report her. My parents did this to 2 of my sisters and tried to do it to me, when I moved out of the country. The other 4 older of us siblings managed to pull $30K out of our butt to cover for one sister when she was kicked out of school for defaulted loans she had no idea about, but because we bailed her out they went and did it to our other little sister who pressed charges immediately/filed a report as soon as she found out. She's kind of my hero to be honest, and though all of our extended family is so mad at her, I wish we'd been strong enough as the older children to stand up and do it the first time. Please do not put yourself in a hole, original poster. And get your social insurance number changed immediately. Edit to add further consideration, if we had pressed charges the first time, they wouldn't have tried a second sister. While your brother is pissed at you now, you acting now will almost definitely keep her from thinking she can do this same thing to him. Just food for thought. And good luck on eventually getting yourself a condo. Edit, guys, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but please stop spending your rewards on my comment. It's so nice, but I want you to use them for other things, and don't use Reddit as much as most, so I feel like they might be better appreciated by someone else. But thank you for the thought, that's what counts, kissing face. Listen to this, carrot, original poster. Carrot. I've seen this when I worked in banking. As soon as a kid turns 17 or 18, the online loan applications start coming in. The adult/parent has their ID info and all their other identifying information. They open an account for a school loan and immediately drain it. Credit cards are harder, but if the parent sets up a regular checking account online under their kid's name, some banks automatically pre-approve them for a higher limit credit card. Parent then takes it when it arrives in the mail and racks up charges on it. I've seen too many people under 20 years old get told about all their debt when they come in to open a basic checking account for their first job. Yeah, but you don't have the money either. It's not $400, this is $43,000. Plenty of people wouldn't make that in a year, myself included. What she did is absolutely despicable. You have to file a police report. And then cut her out. Not the butthole. Also sounds like she never planned to tell original poster. Edit, thanks for the awards. This. Not the butthole. If your brother and other family object to you reporting your mom, have them back the $43,000. Original poster replies. No one in my family has that kind of money. Maybe my grandma because she owns her home, but I can't ask her to sell her house. That's their point. Tell your siblings and the rest of the family if they aren't willing or able to pay for your mother's mistakes, why should you? Crimes, not mistakes. Why don't you just take out a loan to pay it back using your brother's identity? If it's no big deal, then I'm sure he'd be fine with it once he finally finds out when he's trying to buy a house and get on with his life. Obviously, you wouldn't do that, because it's wrong and it's illegal, and you wouldn't want to put your brother in a financial hole he had no choice over. Your mother had no right to do this to you. It's not a child's responsibility to pay for their own upbringing or their mother's and siblings' bills and groceries. What your mother's done to you is horrendous. The fact she's getting angry at you over this instead of begging for forgiveness and agreeing to take that burden on so you don't have to just goes to show what kind of person she is. You're not hearing us. So we'll say it another way. The only person that should pay the $43,000 is your mother. It doesn't matter that she doesn't have it on hand, or that it was used to keep you afloat. She should have taken your family into homelessness before committing identity fraud on her own son. You're a young person, so let's continue to lay this out for you. Let's say that you cave and decide to pay it off because she's your mom. Fine. Your credit will be permanently, negatively affected. This means that you will be paying the highest interest rates on car loans, mortgages, credit cards, consumer loans, college loans. Everything. Think of it as if you have a $300 minimum payment on something, half to 2/3 will go to the interest charged, and maybe $100 will go towards payment of the debt. That means that it will literally take you years to pay it off, if you can pay it off at all. Jobs. Employers do credit checks, both before hiring, and periodically while you're employed. That killer job you wanted you to interviewed for and were the number one candidate? Sorry, your credit score isn't remotely close to 800. No job for you. Apartments. Apartments do credit checks. You fail it, you don't get to live there. So you end up looking for a landlord for months/years that's both in your price range, and isn't next door to a sex offender, high crime area, or a crazy person who plays the trumpet at 2:30 a.m. every night. And yes, that happened in the r/legal advice subreddit a few weeks ago. Marriage/potential partner. No sane girlfriend/boyfriend is going to shack up/marry someone with bad credit. That's financial suicide. Look. You aren't being a good son, a hero, a martyr, or any other noble person by covering this debt. You have serious boundary/codependency issues. The only way your mom is going to get by with this is for her to do the right thing and answer for her crime. She might get leniency from the judge. You can certainly request that. Maybe she'll be judged intellectually incompetent. But you cannot absorb this debt. Original poster. Your entire future depends on not having this on your record, and she set you up for life failure. How are you supposed to set your future family up for success with this hanging over your head for the rest of your life? Reddit link. Not the butthole. Your mom committed fraud and left you owing $43K to the government. I know things can get desperate for people sometimes, but the fact that she didn't tell you. She hasn't made attempts to pay it back, work with you to pay it back. That shows she's not taking responsibility for her actions. Let me ask you this, if it was anyone besides your mother, what would you do? This is always the thing I ask when family is involved in this kind of thing. If you took the family part out of the equation, would you press charges? If a stranger had used stolen credentials to get a loan, would that victim press charges? Yes. Original poster is a victim of their mom. Not the butthole. Fraud is fraud. It's horribly short-sighted to put your child into debt like that. Also, she wasn't providing for them, she was making original poster unknowingly provide. It's like me maxing out credit cards that I took out in my kid's name. It's so gross how often this actually happens. Not just credit cards but cable/internet, mail order services, vehicles. Gross. Not the butthole. She should have talked to you about it, not do it in secret. My mother-in-law made tons of debt on my significant other and brother-in-law's name, on her ex-husband's, even on her dead mother's. My significant other lost some job opportunities on some occasions when applying to work at banks here in Brazil. BC, her mom made debt in her name without consulting first. No matter the reason, using a relative's name to borrow money is never acceptable without consent. Not the butthole. You're not talking a few $100s, you're talking thousands. She wasn't even apologetic about what she did. She also didn't tell you she did this, she waited until you found out on your own, and instead of trying to fix it, she just tells you to pay it off. She only cares about not getting in trouble. She committed a crime. She deserves punishment or what is going to stop her from doing it again. You also might want to see if she did the same thing to your brother. Ask relatives to pay her debt. Not the butthole. In situations like this, the family will often blame the victim. This is because they selfishly want the problem to go away, and you can make that happen by choosing to accept being a victim. But then you are the only one who has to pay a price. Why can't they get together and pay off your mother's debt or help her get a loan? Because then it affects them. And if your mother was using your money to support your family when you were a child, it sounds like you've already been supporting her for a long time. I understand you don't want to lose your family, but they're all siding with the person that victimized you. I'd announce that you've worked out a plan to avoid reporting your mother and let them know how much it will cost each of them. Get it all out on the table, so they have to explicitly state that it's okay for you to pay but not for them. Not the butthole. My mother used my identity and incurred $10,000 in credit card debt in my name. I had no idea until after getting married, 6 months upon finishing college, and we were trying to buy a house. I was so pissed when I found out. I contacted the credit card and told them everything. They wrote it all off, but it stayed on my credit report forever. Cost me many job opportunities, a few promotions, and prevented me from getting lower interest rates. Over the years, she has done little debts in my name which I have just paid off, as it is too much hassle to fight. Although whenever she asks me for money, I tell her I have already paid for stuff for her. This past year, I purchased her an end-of-life funeral plan and sent her all the details in a pretty card for her birthday. It's not a good relationship. Not the butthole she put you into $50K worth of debt. She chose to do this rather than finding other avenues out there to help her raise you. She screwed you so hard. Continue with criminal charges. She probably did the same to your brother. 100%. Not the butthole. My mom begs me not to do it and just pay off the debt. It would be one thing if she was begging to pay it off herself and setting up a payment plan, etc. But she's asking you to pay it? Absolutely not. In what world should you be paying for $43,000 that she stole under your social insurance? I'd file the report and press charges ASAP. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.